Joining me now from Kyiv is former Prime Minister of Ukraine and Chairman of the Kyiv Security Forum, Arseniy Yatsenyuk. Good evening. Thanks very much for being
Good evening, Mark.
with us.
Pleasure.
And what do you make then of the way that Putin is dealing with Witkoff and Jared Kushner? Is he still playing Trump?
Well, absolutely, no doubt. You know, everyone is talking about some kind of peace talks. Let me stick to my definition. It's a sham talks. It's a smoke and mirror. So his aim is to subjugate Ukraine. Otherwise, he would announce an unconditional ceasefire and only afterwards to hold real peace talks. So no doubt that Putin is stepping President Trump along. So he humiliated President Trump in Anchorage, and he's doing the same right now in Moscow. So his aim was, the first one is actually to postpone and circumvent sanctions. The second one is to block the seizure of the Russian assets. The third one is to drive the wedge between the European Union and the United States. And the fourth one actually to show to everyone that he is acting in a good faith, but he doesn't have faith. So actually, we are in the same situation. So we got stuck with all this never-ending story of Putin's KGB special operation, how to drag his feet, and how to move forward. I will give you the numbers, Mark. Look, over the past 3 years, Putin managed to take only 1.5% of Ukrainian territory. So he's in a dire strait too. I want to be very clear that we are facing tremendous complications and troubles. I mean, we in Ukraine, starting with the ammo and ending with the financial support that is on the brink of disaster. You see what's happening in the European Union. But his situation is far from being perfect. In case so he lost around, there are different estimates, from 1 million to 1.3 million of killed and injured. It's a staggering number. So the only thing that is happening right now is that he's playing for time, and he still believes that he can actually outweigh and outlast us. Yeah. And it all depends right now on the U.S. administration. Whether the U.S. administration is really serious about helping Ukraine.
Well, this is the point, because despite what you say, isn't President Trump still the best chance of doing a deal? He, in theory, at least has the most influence over Putin.
Well, I do believe that he really has the leverage. But the thing is that they need to bring an additional, I would say, war chest for Ukraine. So, I mean, Americans have to make Ukrainians stronger in order for us, for Ukrainians, to have better negotiating position. And it would be easier for Americans really to drag Putin to the negotiating table and to get real kind of concessions out of Putin, but not out of Ukraine. Because it's weird, because we are right now in talks with our American friends about what kind of concessions Ukraine is ready to provide. Give me a break. Tell me what kind of concessions Putin is ready to give at this negotiating table.
Well, it doesn't seem very many, does it? He doesn't seem to want to do that. I mean, do you think in the end Ukraine will have to cede the territory that it currently controls, territory that's being said 250,000 Ukrainians are living in?
Mark, I want to be very clear. It is another trap. And with all due respect, Secretary Rubio said that the most challenged issue is whether the Ukraine is ready to cede the territory. Let me provide you my reading. In case if Ukraine decides, which is completely unacceptable, to cede the territory of Donetsk, just trust me, Putin would ask for another 4 regions of Ukraine that are illegally incorporated into the Russian constitution. He would ask for a full demilitarization of Ukraine, for a non-NATO member status of Ukraine, and for Ukraine as a neutral state. So it is so obvious for everyone who knows what really Russia and Putin is about.
If Trump decides, I can't do this, I'm walking away, curbing weapons, curbing cash, can you hold off Putin with just European help, do you think?
There is no way, just no way, to fight against Putin without Americans. If Americans turn their back on Ukraine, this would be a disaster not only for Ukraine and for Europe, not only for NATO and for the free world. This would be a disaster of the magnitude bigger than the notorious withdrawal of Americans from Afghanistan. This would be a complete humiliation of the United States of America. And I hope that this administration clearly understands this.
Vladimir Putin seems to think he's winning the war, or at least has the ability to win the war. So there's no incentive for him to stop now. How do you see the war at the moment, the battlefield at the moment?
As I've told you, so over the past 3 years, we lost just 1.5% of Ukrainian territory. So he didn't manage actually to take over an entire Ukraine. His situation is really complicated. Ukraine's situation is a challenging and complicated too. So we need urgently to get both financial and military support in order actually to withstand the Russian aggression. And what is needed? We need to exert pressure personally on Putin and on Russia, both economic and military and sanction pressure. President Macron right now is paying his state visit to President Xi. So we need to do something with Chinese, because China is the closest strategic partner and the back office of this war that Russia waged against Ukraine. So we need to stop this lifeline provided by China and India, as these two countries purchase 85% of the Russian oil. So we need a very strong unity between the US and the European Union in exerting the pressure and turning the screw on Putin. So, and we have everything. We have all tools, all leverages. We have a lot. We as a free world, we have an enormous capacity to provide Ukraine with everything that is needed. The only thing is whether we are really serious about it, whether we can deliver to help Ukraine to prevail in this war.